when Krishna comes to meet Bhishma, who is lying at the bed of arrows. When he saw after the Mahabharata war, the Nectar devotion has short stories, very pleasing to see. When he comes to that scene and he sees Bhishma lying on the bed of arrows, Krishna becomes very compassionate. I say that tears came in Krishna's eyes to see his pure devotee, in a difficult time. Krishna has compassion on this. But Bhishma is not ordinary, he is a pure devotee, very dear to Krishna. So Krishna was feeling compassion. Similarly, when Krishna released, there were thousands of kings which were imprisoned by Jarasandha. When Krishna saw to it by Bhima, Jarasandha is killed and he released all those kings. I see, because these kings were very sincerely praying to Krishna to come and save them. When Krishna saw them, they were kept for butchering maybe. For Narbali or something, he had kept them. They were in a very, very harassed condition. So when he saw them, Krishna was again very compassionate. So by nature, Krishna is so great. But to understand this great personality, we have to practice some austerity. And therefore this shloka is, many people like to become Jagadguru. Who will not like to become? Everybody thinks, yes, I'll be going, millions of people will be. Recently I was joking, you put a video on the internet, whole world can see. So theoretically we are Jagadguru, no? Whole world can see. You can get a report also next day. Who saw video? How many people in India? How many people in China? How many people in Russia saw that video yesterday? You get full report. So you may feel in a trip you are Jagadguru, but the qualifications of Jagadguru are given here. Very clear. Vacho Vega. First thing is that because body is like a machine. Prabhupada spent the first 2-3 pages to explain a very important point. He says most of the people, they don't bother about Vega. Vega means basically the pushing. Pushing is there. Do. Like that pushing is there. And they don't control. They do. And anybody can understand certain activities are bad. And they think, but that now I cannot hold this Vega. I have to go through it. And later one day I will understand it is not good. This is the modern day philosophy of which I mentioned sometimes, moderation. And this is, Vedic culture is abstinence. Veda means abstinence. But today it's like this, you are having a fever, you continue to work with fever, live with fever. The danger is fever it increases and you will go mad. So you pick up newspaper every day, we see millions of people doing strange, crazy activities. Feel sad for that. But we don't know the reason. If nobody wants to do a crazy activity, but if he is not controlling his fever, any day the fever reaches madness. In fact, many people after doing some crazy activity feel very bad. They repent. They are in jail. They have to be hanged or they killed. They personally are feeling very guilty. Why did I do that? But it goes out of their control. In Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna asked Krishna, we don't want to do certain activities. Why do we do that? Krishna said, yes. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhava, mahashano mahapatma, vidhi evam yaverina. Krishna is saying, vidhi means to know from me. What do you know from me? This is your enemy. So we have to know from Krishna. If you accept Krishna as authority, then you can go on a fast track. If you do not consult Krishna, on your own you want to go, your life is gone. So here, Rupa Goswami is giving a shortcut path. If we taking guidance of Rupa Goswami is like taking guidance of Krishna. If you take his guidance, you will very quickly progress in spiritual life. General mass of people, without the guidance of an Acharya like Rupa Goswami, are very unfortunate. Why? They want to learn by gradual slapping of Maya, because slapping and beating of Maya is also for a purpose. For him to learn gradually that this is not good. Okay? Any sense gratification. Tripyanti neha. Prahlad Maharaj says, Yanmay tunadi grihame disukam hitocham kandu yanena karuyo eva dukkha dukkham tripyanti neha. Tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja kandudivam manusajam vishaheta dhira. It's a sober person tolerates. And another point, very important point, there is no tripti in it. There is no satisfaction in it. Unnecessarily when you getting entangled in something which is not needed. So therefore, here we see in this purport, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, the people want to learn by seeing and hearing. This is how people get experience. They see something and they hear something. More intelligent people learn by hearing. And fools people, they hear, they see, still they don't learn. We are hearing, yes, that is the fastest way to learn. But people are so foolish, even by criminals, they repeatedly commit simple activities. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, I don't see this process works in this world. He compares it to Punjala Shauchala. He compares it to bathing of an elephant. An elephant takes bath in water, he becomes fresh, he is very solid, powerful animal. And then he comes out of the water, he takes, he has that shower attached to his body. Anywhere he can throw, wash himself. He has a nice, Krishna has given him, imagine that design. And he washes himself very nicely. And after that he comes, he takes sand and throws over his body. There is some reason why he does that. But symbolically, that is what we are doing in our spiritual life. When we are there chanting, we are reading Bhagavad Gita, so nice. But Krishna consciousness, there should be continuous advancement, no? That is not happening. Day by day, my happiness of Krishna consciousness, my faith in Srila Prabhupada, day by day should increase. Correct? Without putting faith in Acharya, spiritual life does not start also. We have to put faith in. Here is an Acharya which will take me to Krishna. We have to invest faith, otherwise it doesn't start also. But day by day, my faith, yes. I am so fortunate to be under shelter of such a great personality. How it will come? When we are advancing, we will be, I'm so fortunate. See, the process is so wonderful. So, but what we do is that we mix up things. So, Rupa Goswami's advice is most intelligent if we can follow. So, first thing he's saying is Vacha Vega, the control of talking. We all have tendency to talk. And therefore, we are seeing in even the Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada has given an explanation of that. He says that yesterday, I think, I read in the newspaper, in Bombay, they are going to do, maybe today or something, they have planned procession. Why? We want nightlife. Some 50 people are arrested, including 2 cricketers. Some Rahul Sharma, big cricketer, arrested by the police. And they took blood test and they released them on bail. Out of that, 97% of them have tested positive for drugs. And the response of the public of Bombay is this. We want freedom to have nightlife. What you will do, night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you will only take drugs and drink. It's a tamasic time. But you see, the situation is like that. Even in Bangalore, the government has given, I think, till 1 o'clock, till 2 o'clock time. Pubs and bars can be open till that time. And they want more and more. So, people are speaking, and there are a lot of people in the newspaper and all supporting them. Articles are coming, supporting. Now, this is what actually the society is. The people who are speaking, first thing, are you qualified to speak? Are you confident what you are speaking will benefit the society? That is called Vacho Vega. Prabhupada used to say, first properly hear to the authorities, then you should speak. Otherwise, you will speak nonsense. So this is the first principle, Vacha Vega. And sometimes to practice this principle, some people practice Mauna. And there are some ashrams and nobody speaks in it. They have silence. That is okay, for some time it may help, but in the long run it's not practical. So we should speak, but speak in glorification of Krishna. Then next come Manasa Krodha Vegam, and Prabhupada says in the purport, in the beginning of the purport, he says the Manasa Vegam is easily achieved if you become attached to Krishna. We submit to the hearing process. We keep hearing the glories of Krishna. We have a tendency to hear. We hear about some hero. We hear about so many crazy heroes in this world. The same tendency to hear about other person's activity, that is an appetite. We are having appetite for that. All of us have appetite. We are sitting, somebody says, you know what that person did today? We are appetite is there. We want to hear. The same appetite should be used to hear about Krishna. That's the best way to control the mind. And Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita that in the one purport, he says that mind becomes agitated by hearing more and more about sense gratification. Just like a boat on an ocean, when its wind comes, it's thrown to sense gratification. Looks attractive to hear, but does not satisfy the mind. Rather, mind becomes more agitated. And that is what people do the mistake. They are disturbed, they go more. One channel, another channel, or they will go one place of sense gratification, another place of sense gratification. They are disturbed. But these things, instead of giving them satisfaction, will agitate the mind more. More bahushakaya anantasya buddhayo avagasayana. If you do not fix your mind on Krishna, bahushaka, millions of desires of sense gratification will suffocate you. None of them will satisfy. This let me try, and you will go mad. That is called manasa. And then Krodha Vega. Krodha Vega means we have a tendency to get angry. And many people feel sadhu should not get angry. But when a Lord is offended, sadhu becomes fire. But sometimes for practical purposes, we don't, just like there were many times devotees were there in some countries and they're doing Harinam Sankirtan on the streets. So there were many times they were arrested. Something. Prabhupada said, see, we don't care for any law because this is the order of Lord Chaitanya. But conduct yourself in such a way you don't agitate the local administration. Carefully. Not that when they come you speak, hey, who are you? Or you can stop. No. Do it in a slow. So similarly, we may be angry, but we will not exhibit every time. The devotee becomes angry. Because he loves Krishna, and if somebody offends Krishna, he definitely gets hurt, he becomes angry. It's not that we behave like fanatics. Fanatics though, they will throw bomb if you tell something little about anything against. Devotee is mature. He understands this is a foolish man. First he tries to convince by politely requesting and arguing. If he cannot, in Kali Yuga, best thing is to walk away. It is said when Krishna was there in the arena where Shishupal was insulting him, Brahmanas, when they heard the insult, they closed their ears and they walked away. A Brahmana behaves like that. A Kshatriya, the Pandavas and other people, they took out the swords to attack Shishupal. So you cannot speak any word more. Correct? We all know that? They took out their swords. So Prabhupada writes very nicely for it. It says when a Lord is insulted, Brahmana walks away, Kshatriya takes out the sword, Shudra commits suicide. He cannot do either of the two. Therefore Sati gave that example. Sri Ayusha, she committed suicide. Anyway, that is an example. So we learn here that anger is there, but different people behave in different ways, and the best thing is to walk away. Sometimes Prabhupada, we have an example. There were many times Prabhupada had public interviews and all, and Prabhupada even banged the people very nicely, and he came out victorious. So when he came back, he told disciples, don't imitate me. So Prabhupada, why? It's a children's and old people can say anything, anywhere and get away. Nobody takes it seriously. Correct? A small child says something, or a very elderly man says something, people still respectfully hear. They don't shout back. So you people don't try to imitate me. So we should be careful how to exhibit the anger. But definitely devotees should be heard. Sometimes, we have a tendency to get angry. Yes, get angry at the atheist. What nonsense. Even if you don't see, not that you will talk to him mentally. What crazy philosophy they have. How it is practical. Anger is there, channelize it. Nothing is bad actually. Nothing is bad. Hanuman burned the whole. Some people have this idea, sadhu should never get angry. Hanuman burned the whole Lanka. He was angry that time. Even Arjuna fought the war, not that he was smiling and throwing arrows. He was also angry. Without anger, you cannot fight. Can you fight without anger? That's not possible. But it was an order of Krishna, he did the war. So we understand. And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada has also explained, we have the purport continuing, that mind has a tendency to become attached and to become repulsive to something. We become calm. Mind should not be affected, should be peaceful. So there is a control of the tongue, control of the mind, and then comes control of the body. Any person, first thing is that you know a person by what he speaks, control it. There is the urge to speak, control. And Prabhupada always with the example of the frog. Frog in a rainy season, quack, 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 they do. What is the result of that? Snake comes and bites. The same way, we should also be very careful not to speak nonsense. Because when you speak nonsense, karmatmakam yena sharira bandhaha. Mind, consciousness changes when we speak nonsense. It's an activity, it's a karma to speak. And when you're speaking, your consciousness will change by what you speak. If you speak about Krishna, your consciousness becomes beautified. And if you speak Gramya Katha, there are two kathas, Gramya Katha and Krishna Katha. When you speak about Krishna Katha, you feel purified. And you speak Gramya Katha, you become entangled in this world more and more. And also, this is another category, this is said, Prajalpa. Speaking unnecessarily is called Prajalpa because our valuable time is wasted in speaking some nonsense. And most dangerous thing is, in Prajalpa, offenses happen. When you speak unnecessarily, when you are not needed to speak, what happens? You speak something ill of somebody and things travel. Person comes to know, becomes so. So, and in Vaishnava line, spiritual line, it is very dangerous if you hurt a Vaishnava. Krishna is not pleased. So, Vacha Vegam, we understood. There is the urge to speak, control it. Don't speak nonsense. Manasa Krodha Vegam, mind has a tendency to get attached and to repulse something, control it. And don't get unnecessarily attached. And the best thing is to all put the mind on Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said actually mind is weak, it is difficult to put on Krishna. The easy way to do that is what? To continuously chant the Hare Krishna mantra. If you can keep some time every day, save some time, and very attentively we take shelter of the holy name, of the Nama Prabhu, what happens? Mind becomes peaceful. That is Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam. Now tongue has a tendency, this is the control of the speaking, then control of the mind, mind is a subtle instrument, then the control of the body. Now the body has three parts, one is called the tongue. Now tongue has the eating business now. See, mouth has come two times, for speaking and for eating. Therefore, tongue is considered the most important sense in the body. If this is controlled, everything is controlled. Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, eating. So Prabhupada says to control this urge, because we see, we'll go in the morning. Today morning I went to Kadri Park. I am also becoming. I walked to Kadri Park and so many people are there. But actually, what is the mistake? Prabhupada says is very simple. Don't waste time, early morning time and all. Just eat less. Nobody can become fat unless he eats more. And that's different. When you go in the park, you chant, that's different. But just people are, you see, none of them is chanting Hare Krishna. Precious time in the morning, so nice, called Brahma Muhurta. All the sages say it's a beautiful time to focus on Krishna. At that time, you see so many people there, running. Mostly their head, no hairs are there. And they're running up and down, somehow, as if the body would save them. But it's a precious time for Krishna consciousness. But what they can do is that they can just reduce their eating. That's all. That's all it is actually. Nobody will become fat by under eating. Not possible. Scientifically it is a fact. Just eat less. And there are ways to manage because stomach is a thing. It feels hungry. It's actually psychological. We need very little food. But the stomach is such a thing, psychologically, I am starving, I am eating so little. As Prabhupada said, nobody will die by under eating. You will die by overeating. It's a medical law. Correct? Nobody dies by under eating. You become a little weak. Overeating, there are so many diseases. So Prabhupada says, if you are for younger people, there is nothing to bother. As you are becoming elder, you should be more careful. Younger people, they will burn it someday. But as the age grows up, we cannot burn, we run here. Difficult at the age grows to jump and all. Children, so they can overeat. There is no fault. But as you grow, you have to become careful. So Prabhupada is saying, anyway, eat Krishna Prasad. That is the first thing, easy to control. Number 2, eat at regular times. You know, people generally put on a TV and some kacharam, they keep eating. No, eat at regular time. Eat prasadam only. And eat, that also, eat. In fact, as you begin Krishna consciousness, I think first thing we tell people, eat prasadam. That is the major thing to do. 5 minutes it takes to offer to the Lord. But you know, people don't have that patience. So let us have some patience. Or don't eat anything not offered to Krishna, because there is a karma there. Even in a vegetarian food, there is karma. There is sin. You have killed some living entity. Okay. So comparatively, compared to non-veg, it is less. But Prabhupada said it is also sinful. Prabhupada said we are not vegetarian. We are Krishnatarian. Because you don't eat any food which is not offered to Krishna. Recognize. And then when you offer to Krishna and eat, not only the karma is taken care of, you are also blessed. It's Krishna Prasad. It is purifying. The mind becomes purified. But when you are cooking for Krishna, non-devotee cannot. So you should be devotee. You cannot hire a cook to cook. And you cannot eat that. That is not practical. In fact, it is an offense rather. You have a deities at your place, or a Lord, you are making an offering and getting a cook. It's not an offense. Sometimes festival is an exception. It cannot be a general principle. Even in the festivals when we are doing, we don't offer to the deities. We offer to Krishna. But that is an emergency. We cannot make a rule of that. We cannot say, no, we'll keep a cook and we can have best of the dishes we want to eat. Correct? We cannot offer that food to the Lord. No way. We cannot offer that. Because cook is generally working for money. He is not a devotee. So that is the Jiva Vega. We eat only prasada. That is first thing to come. Then after people stabilize to only prasada, because it saves a lot. When Prabhupada started, the moment the devotees used to still have those habits, they will go to ice cream shop, just like in Indian bakery products, immediate sense gratification. And they will, Prabhupada said, no, you have to stop all this if you want to advance in spirituality. Unless you control the senses, sir, there is no spiritual advancement. And unless you have spiritual advancement, your problem of life remains as it is. As it is. And you are back at square one. What's it? They say, in army, jaise the. They do that thing and then there's jaise the. You become relaxed. The same way we remain jaise the, as it is. You have to advance in spiritual line. One of the important principles is to restrict ourselves to eating only prasad. Okay. Except when we are traveling at that time, every rule is an exception. That time we can eat food, sattvic food, without onion, garlic. But anyway, never the onion, garlic is not there. There is no question of any other item. Meat, fishes and all. So automatically food is sattvic. On top of it being offered to the Lord, it takes transcendental nature. Today we cannot, just like suppose I give you a copper wire, or I say it is copper wire. Yeah, just copper, touch it, you'll get an electric shock. So similarly, it's a copper wire, but because it is carrying electricity, it is not only a copper wire. Similarly, we give an example, like iron rod is there. Now put on fire, it takes nature of the fire. So somebody may say iron rod, no? Touch it to burn. So similarly, what is happening today is that by Krishna's arrangement, we are able to, beyond the theory of Gita and Bhagavatam, we are able to experience Krishna. Why? Mercifully Krishna is present in certain features. Holy name, and the deities, the Shastra, the Prasada, the great devotees, Acharyas. Krishna is present there. So you may say, it is deity only. Touch, no. You get a spiritual shock. You may say, it is food only, no. It is rice and dal. I also could touch it. You eat, you feel spiritually electrified, provided you do with submission and respect. And it's a book only. We have so many books in the market, so many stories are there. Yeah, touch, no? You start reading, therefore in the book, distribution, one of the principles is they put the book in the hand of the person. Something happens to you, touches, because this is spiritually electrified. Some shock, spiritual shock he gets. So we can understand, true, some externally looking, these elements of mercy of Krishna are inconceivable to us. We cannot just believe how Krishna can do it. But that is not the Vedic process. Vedic process is to accept it and apply it and see it. Okay. You cannot speculate on these matters. It is beyond your speculation. You have to apply, you see it works. Yes. So Vacha Vegam, so the Prasadam in the first we limit ourselves to Prasadam. Next level we say is that you eat at regular times. Next control. When people start eating Prasadam, they don't do kacharam, eat at regular time. And the next level we say, eat less. So the beginning level, definitely there is satisfaction. I am eating only Prasadam. In fact, Prabhupada said some devotees in the movement are falling down because in the name of eating Prasadam they are overeating and they are falling down. Prabhupada said that because that is a country. So that is now as per the Jiva Vegam, Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krudha Vegam, Jiva Vegam. Udara Prastha Vegam. The Udara was, tongue had a tendency to eat all kind of items. We restrict ourselves to Prasadam. Udara means we eat limited. What is needed, that's all. In fact, eating more means sleeping more. It's always the law. We eat more, we sleep more. So we waste our time, which is precious, which can be used for Krishna consciousness. And then tongue, belly and genital come in the same line. If tongue goes out of control, belly goes out of control, and then genitals become agitated. If the pressure comes in. So I think, I don't know if somebody has done a study or not on it, but here Prabhupada says that it will happen. Person will become more sexually inclined if his belly starts coming out. So we should be careful on that. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udarapastha Vegam, Etan Vegan Yovisheta Dhiraha. So these pushings are there. So not on my experience, sir, it is never possible. If you think, by my experience, I will one day stop, you will never stop. Only way somebody can stop or respect or acharya. Why do we say you have to surrender to an acharya? The reason is, without surrender to acharya, you will not able to give up anything. You will remain a crazy man. Just like you have a disease, unless you surrender to a doctor and take medicine as he says, you will not become cured. But the problem is, in spiritual line, people have no surrender. That's the problem today in the society. Why society is suffering? Just like you are a good doctor, when you see people suffering in malaria now, you say, what is the need? We have medicine. Why they are suffering and dying? So similarly, we see people are suffering today in so many ways. The problem is they are not consulting Krishna. That is their problem. They are so proud. Prabhupada says, is there an authority greater than Krishna? But they are so proud. Joke is he is harassed, kicked from millions of directions, suffering like anything. Anybody is suffering actually. There was once Prabhupada was telling some lectures of one Prabhupada. Said, Prabhupada, I was preaching to somebody, and that man says, I am very happy, I am not suffering, and I am not scared of death. Prabhupada said, he is a mad man. Don't waste time over it. If somebody says, I am not suffering, he is a mad man. There is no need to waste time over it. He is a pagalani. Actually, everybody in the middle existence is suffering. And to connect to the point I said in the morning, without shelter of Krishna, we are anath. We are helpless. We may have parents, we may have youth, we may have money, we may have good doctors. None of them can protect us actually. If Krishna does not protect, we are helpless. These things look to be a protection. Ye dhana yavana putraka parijana iti ke aache parat itire. Can these things really protect you? We have to really think introspectively. The fact is, they cannot protect. And they are not actually protection. So therefore, we should take shelter of Krishna, and that is real protection. Edana yavana putra parijana. So, etan dhiran visheheta dhiraha. So sober man actually controls his urges, not on his experience. He says, let me follow what Rupa Goswami says, my life will be perfect. He has to take shelter of Rupa Goswami. This is called taking shelter. Taking shelter doesn't mean go to Vrindavan, go to Rupa Goswami Samadhi and pay a big shashtan. No. That is good, definitely is good. But real taking shelter means what? To feel, if I follow the instruction of Rupa Goswami, I am under his protection. Therefore Prabhupada says, if you do not follow me, I cannot protect you. Prabhupada said, Acharya said, actually, imagine what the benefit it is. If I can follow the Acharya, in fact some devotee went to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I want to follow you word by word. Prabhupada said, that is not easy. You begin the surrender process. Begin. So Acharya is not somebody surrendering. Hey, no, Acharya, when you take the role of an Acharya, you have to act like an Acharya. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is giving the example of the best Acharya. When Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, hey Arjuna, I don't know anything. No? Krishna smiled. In fact, yesterday we were discussing this point, that Krishna is the best teacher. When Arjuna was in such a crisis, he was crying. Imagine you have gone for some major work and the main man at the last minute says, I want to drop it. You will be furious actually. But Krishna just smiled. Arjuna, what happened? And Arjuna thought about that. Krishna, please guide me. Surrender to Krishna. I am your Shishya. Krishna very smilingly talked to him throughout the Bhagavad Gita. And till the last minute, he is allowing Arjuna to make decision what he wants to do. And I don't think any one of us can mentor anybody like that. Correct? Suppose somebody is dependent on us and there is a major thing and he is making a very strange decision. We start shouting, we lose control over ourselves. But Krishna was smiling and he was telling Arjuna, now you decide. After he told him. And in fact, when he was instructing Arjuna, what was Krishna telling constantly? Krishna was constantly telling him, Bharata Shava, best of the Bharatas. Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Then, Mahabahu, or the strongly armed one. Very beautiful words he uses. Oh, you are so dear to me, Arjuna. Affectionately keeps teaching. But even with all this thing, slightest of anger Krishna does not have. No pushing. It does not interfere with his freedom. And at the end Krishna says, Arjuna, what is the decision? Yatechasi, decide what you want. Now this is, I think, as for any teacher or any person, because all of us have some role of mentoring somebody, the highest class of teaching. Highest class. In that situation, it's a real time, Krishna acted like that. And he left it to Arjuna to decide what he wants to do. And that is one point. So this is how Acharyas teach, even Rupa Goswami or even Srila Prabhupada. They taught like that. And people willingly, Prabhupada said, that's how preaching means. Preaching means voluntarily people come forward to offer service to Krishna. That is called preaching. Correct? Not like when you go to some holy places, the Pandas harass us. That is not our standard. In fact, Prabhupada has not taught us that. And another point which we have been developing during the week was, just like Arjuna was in Mahabharata, we are also in Mahabharata. We are also having a fight. To symbolize in the sense that Maya has already declared war. Now you cannot see, suppose Pakistan had declared war on India. Now there is no point of talking non-violence or something. You have to protect and you have to hit back. There is no question of now sleeping. You have to act. So similarly, a devotee cannot sleep also. Maya has already attacked. Maya has declared war already, started throwing bombs. Now you cannot just sleep. Suppose you have some countries there, started throwing bombs, missile, arrows. Now you cannot sleep now. War is declared already. Similarly, moment you take birth, Maya has declared war already. How? It is going to make you old, disease, death. This is a gross attack. And there is a subtle attack also in our mind. Rajoguna, Tamoguna, tearing us apart. And torture is going on. Constant attack is going on. Two things we are attached to, body and mind. Both Maya cannot. Soul, Maya cannot touch also. That is the direct son of God. But mind and body, Maya attacks fully, with full force it is attacking. So there is no point in now. And Arjuna, what he did? He took shelter of Krishna. Right? What happened to him? He won the war. Similarly, if we take shelter of Krishna, we can save others. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Devi Esha Gudimai Mama Maya Durataya. This Maya of mine, you cannot fight. It is very powerful. Similarly, we cannot fight this. Just like Arjuna could not win that war. So similarly, we can also not win. In fact, Parikshit Maharaj says that in the battlefield, there were huge, huge fishes. There is some fish which is called Timingala, which can eat whales. In fact, they found a fossil of a fish like that recently. Huge. Even whale is nothing in front of it. Maybe it was there or not some time ago. It has to be there in some part of the universe because Bhagavatam talks about it. What Vedas talk about is not limited to even our planet. It is throughout the universe. So some part of the universe that fish has to exist. It is so big it can eat whales. And recently some study, they said we have now a skeleton. But it's always speculative. But we don't depend on speculation. We depend on the Vedas. Prabhupada says Vedas can never be wrong. So he says, Parikshit Maharaj, that battlefield was like a great ocean. And there were many Timingala fish who could have swallowed many Arjunas. But my father survived because they took Krishna's help. The same way, if we follow Krishna, daily we hear every word that Krishna says and take it as a heart or soul, we can be protected from Maya. And there are many, many Timingalas of Maya which can swallow us. And we have no power. Easily we will be swallowed unless we take shelter of Krishna. So we also have, in a similar way, a big war going on. There is no question of sleeping. Somebody sleeps means Maya will swallow him. Somebody does not chant 16 rounds, Maya will swallow him. He is just swallow him or already swallowed. There is no question of any person remaining, surviving in Krishna consciousness unless he takes shelter. Okay? So Rupa Goswami is a great Acharya, and from today we have begun the study of Nectar of Instruction. So let us take his advice. This will be now 11 weeks. Let us take advice of Rupa Goswami so that we can reach Krishna's lotus feet and save ourselves to be swallowed by the material nature. Srila Prabhupada ki, Upadeshamrita ki, Srila Rupa Goswami ki.